What's going on YouTube? My name is Dom, and in this video here today, this is Athletic Sprinter by the numbers. So we're going to be looking at Athletic Sprinter. What I love about these types of videos is this is where logic and reasoning really comes to shine and shows you how fucking cool it is and the difference it can make in practical application. Of course, by practical application, I mean video games, so take that as you will. Before I get started, this is going to take about 20 seconds. People keep asking me about the SR1 versus the MSR. Why do I use the SR1 over it? I actually ran some things on this. I felt like the SR1 was a little bit faster. My results seem to confirm that, and what I found was that the ADS speed of the SR1 is approximately 100 milliseconds faster than the MSR. That's 1/10 of a second, and it also fires a little bit faster by 80 milliseconds. So over the course of 5 shots, if you fired them all back to back to back, that would amount to roughly 4/10 of a second faster that last shot would get off. And just now am I starting to realize how much of a waste of time that probably was. Anyway, let's go ahead and let's hop into the video for today. So after taking Athletic Sprinter into a custom lobby, I was able to test out a few things. First, I wanted to figure out the rate at which your sprinting speed is increased. I just want to make sure we don't have another fiasco like with the drone pilot perk where those things were actually mislabeled. Link to that video in the top right corner of your screen if you're interested in checking that out. So it does seem to appear that sprinting speed is increased by about 15%. Now, so what I did was I tested from when you start sprinting to when you stop sprinting, when you run out of stamina, about how long does that take. Well, it takes 20.6 seconds roughly. Of course, these aren't going to be exact numbers, but it takes roughly 20.6 seconds whether you have Athletic Sprinter or whether you don't, which is exactly what the perk says. Now, once you have Athletic Sprinter equipped, you're going to hit about 230 meters in that 20.6 seconds, and without it, you're going to hit about 200 meters, which is 15%. Now, the rate actually that you cover without Athletic Sprinter is 9.7 meters per second. Now, the rate with Athletic Sprinter is 11.7 meters per second, which is exactly a 15% difference. Or I'm sorry, 11.16. Meters per second on Athletic Sprinter. I misspoke. Now, if that is a 15% difference, which works out perfectly fine. Now, I decided to, how fast would this cover, theoretically, if you were running like 400 meters, which I think is a typical flank. That's a very big flank, maybe on like a map like Deforestation or Lumber Mill. 400 meters is probably, not such an unreasonable distance to think that you'd be flanking. So I decided when you are without, and of course I didn't take into consideration running around rocks, running around trees, if you run out of stamina, crouch sprinting and things like that. Of course you can keep your stamina going pretty much the entire time if you crouch sprint, which is exactly what I was keeping in mind here with this rate. So I'm keeping this rate consistent over 400 meters, which it may not be in practical application. If you have a normal sprint, you're not using Athletic Sprinter, it will take you about 41.24 seconds to cover a 400 meter distance, and with Athletic Sprinter it will take you about 35.84 seconds, saving you a total of about 5.5 seconds. Now this right here, this is not that significant. Is the enemy going to be out of your range if you cover that 400 meter distance 5.5 seconds later? Probably not. In a highly competitive match, that 5.5 seconds can make the world of difference. But in a majority of the time, I don't think it will. I do like to use Athletic Sprinter on my sniper so that I can cover that distance a little bit quicker, and I can catch people in that distance. I can catch people moving rather quickly, and that 5.5 seconds for me might make a world of difference because I'm a sniper and I can catch people with their pants down quicker. So I do like it for that purpose. But of course, this is over 400 meters. That's an extremely large distance. Over the course of like 100 meters, if you divide it by 4, that's going to be about 1.5 seconds, 1.75 seconds that you're covering faster. Is it worth it? I don't necessarily think so. Of course, like I said, I use it on my sniper, but I don't think it's worth it in the long run for an assault class or something like that. It is going to be worth it when you are trying to outmaneuver people and you're getting in one-on-one gunfights, but of course, this is a tactical shooter. The situations where you're going to be trying to run around opponents isn't necessarily going to happen all that often unless you are a rushing team. So personally, I like to use perks where you're definitely getting an obvious benefit, like quick hands, like safety first, like even Hollow Point, except I don't use Hollow Point anymore because I think it's utter bullshit. Please let me know what you guys think about this down in the comment section below. Once you put these numbers on the larger scale, does it seem like it's worth it anymore? Are you going to stop running Athletic Sprinter for something else? Are you going to keep running Athletic Sprinter? Please let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Of course, if you are new, please go ahead and subscribe. And if you are interested in supporting the content and keeping this stuff going, go ahead and look at the links in the description so that you can donate to the channel or possibly become a sponsor. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video or live stream.